And I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy,
A heavyweight.
heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
Keep your speed, Gervonta Tank Davis.
In shocking unseen footage, Gervonta Tank Davis reportedly knocks down a heavyweight sparring partner while training for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul. The clip highlights Davis's trademark power and impeccable timing as he lands a devastating left hand that ends a session instantly. Fans are calling it clear proof that his speed and precision remain unmatched, even when facing much larger opponents. Showbiz The Adult predicts that Gervonta Tank Davis will weigh in around 154 pounds for his fight against Jake Paul, dismissing claims that he'll be too small to compete. He explains that Davis has previously walked around at that weight, so it won't be unfamiliar territory. Showbiz also notes that Tank has trained as heavy as 160 pounds, making the jump far less drastic than many believe. He emphasizes that Davis has spent years sparring with much larger opponents, sharpening his timing, reflexes, and counterpunching against heavier hitters. That experience, combined with his explosive power and high fight IQ, gives him a clear edge in this matchup. Confident in his prediction, Showbiz insists that Jake Paul's size advantage won't save him once Tank lands clean, boldly declaring that Gervonta Davis will knock him out with ease.
Close to 160 against Jake Paul. And dare I say it, I think that's the right thing for him to do. Why? I've been saying this. Number one, fighters need to start fighting closer to their walk-around weight. They're just healthier that way. They're just better and healthier that way. I mean, I know it's probably surprising them, too. Like, that was the best I've seen Terrence Bud Crawford in my ropes. He's fighting Pitbull at 140, coming from 130 and a pit stop at 135. You have Shakur Stevenson talking about fighting Teofimo Lopez. They're very close to making that fight at 140. And I think all of them would look their best. Damn. Especially Roach, where he ain't knocking nobody out down there at 130. But I bet you he'll be swatting far more at 140. Gervonta Tank Davis, I think, just like the others, fighting closer to your walk-around weight is just going to be one of the better performances for Gervonta Tank Davis. He's going to learn a lot about his body. He's going to learn a lot about himself and where he should campaign moving forward. Maybe even meeting Roach in that rematch at 140 himself. Also, another reason why I think it behooves him to come in knocking at 160 pounds is because of Jake Paul. It's not like Tank is going to dodge every punch Jake Paul throws, all right? Some of those are going to land, and more than likely it's going to land on his guard. Tank is going to have his guard up. We need for him to be solid enough, his foundation and his base solid enough, so when Jake Paul hits him with those shots,
Tank has reportedly been sparring with much bigger opponents to prepare for his upcoming showdown with Jake Paul, but that's nothing new for him. Since the start of his career, Gervonta Davis has consistently tested himself against heavier fighters, using those sessions to refine his timing and precision. With his exceptional power and high fight IQ, handling larger opponents has never been a challenge for him. In the latest training footage, Gervonta Tank Davis appears sharper, leaner, and more focused than ever before. Every punch he throws blends power with precision, the result of years of discipline and mastery. His footwork is light yet commanding, and each strike against a heavy bag follows a deliberate, rhythmic pattern. Observers note the intensity in his eyes and the seamless coordination between his speed and power, a clear sign of his dedication. Experts across the boxing world have praised his form, saying he looks in the best condition of his career and is ready for war. The combination of power, timing, and ring control on display during camp has reignited discussions about how dangerous Davis remains at the elite level point. One of the biggest storylines heading into this clash is the weight difference. While some believe Jake Paul's natural size gives him an advantage, Others argue that Davis's skill set will neutralize any physical disparity. Fans wonder whether the size gap might pose a challenge, but longtime followers know Tank has frequently sparred with and dominated much larger opponents. Supporters remind critics that boxing isn't decided by weight alone, but by timing, discipline, and technical intelligence. With his defensive brilliance and exceptional counterpunching, Davis remains a puzzle for any fighter, regardless of size. His team is confident that his experience handling pressure and movement will allow him to use Jake's size against him. For Davis, this fight isn't about proving strength. It's about proving skill. Lamont Roach has openly expressed his dissatisfaction with Gervonta "Tank" Davis, claiming there are unresolved issues between them. His recent comments have sparked discussion among analysts, who detect a hint of bitterness in his tone. Many suggest that Roach's frustration stems less from genuine conflict and more from envy over Davis's success and financial rise. The two fighters once shared mutual respect, but Roach's words now carry a noticeably personal edge. Observers believe he struggles to accept how Davis continues to dominate headlines and secure massive paydays, while others remain in the background. Boxing commentators note that when money and fame become factors, rivalries often turn emotional. Davis, however, appears unfazed by the noise, staying silent, focused, and letting his training speak for itself.
Weight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child, Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
Despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seems set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be...
Boxing experts often point out that Gervonta "Tank" Davis doesn't receive enough credit for what he's achieved. They argue that many of his opponents gained significant recognition after facing him, a testament to his immense influence in the sport. Fighters who were once relatively unknown often become global names simply because they shared the ring with him. This pattern underscores Davis's star power and his ability to elevate anyone he faces. Critics who claim he hasn't fought tough enough competition are reminded that his presence alone can make or break a career. Analysts emphasize that his victories define him not only as a knockout artist, but also as a fighter who carries the weight of boxing's spotlight on his shoulders. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more boxing updates. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Stay tuned, bigger fights, bigger stories, coming soon.